one of the majors for us, because we don't do a ton of like sports and we don't want them running all over the place and keeping them spread thin. The more I watch that, the more I'm like, well, if you're going from school to a sport, where are you eating? And again, we focus a lot on health, but generally what you're doing is eating something on the go, right? So we wake up late and we eat a granola bar. This is a normal thing. This is not what our family does, but like you wake up late and you're running to school, so the kids are eating some kind of cereal bar, processed food. Then they're eating school lunch or they're eating something from home or whatever. And then when they leave school, they go to like soccer or football or baseball, but they're going one to the next to the next to the next. And all they're doing is not, in my opinion, I go, they're not eating well because we're going fast food and we're sleeping poorly and that kind of stuff. So for us, we don't do a lot of that. So what we do end up doing though is for that reason, we spend a lot of time around our kitchen table. And so we cook food that takes time. We clean up when it's over. There are like the standing rule is no toys at the table for the littles and no phones at the table for anybody who has one. So my teenage daughter, my 19-year-old son, for mom and dad, we don't have phones at the table because that's time for us to interact. So we do this thing called Guess in 10, where it's a card game that is basically you have an animal and there's different descriptors on there, but the person who's holding the card answers yes or no questions until we guess what animal it is. The kids love that. And it's a lot of fun. It gets pretty intense if you can believe that. Um, but we do stuff like that to interact. And then we try to keep a bedtime routine of some sort for the littles as well. But those are the things that we do to stay present in our kids' lives. I learned that when you eat together, kids have a higher likelihood of eating healthier foods as they go into their own life. It also causes all of us to eat healthier. You're cooking at home. There's a lot of things around the family dinner table that enable a better health and a better life. So we have that in our lives. And then I have, like I told you before, I have a Christmas light hanging business. So in this time frame, I'm gone a lot, right? It's now dying down because we're so close to Christmas. But when I was in the midst of November, I mean, it was sun up, sundown. My kids are like, "Where's Dad?" constantly. So when I came home, there were plenty of times where I knew I had 20, 25 messages on Instagram. I had some text messages, and I'm like, no, it's going to wait. Because when I got home, one of my favorite things is when I would come home from those days, I'd open the door. We have a wreath with some bells on it, and they would ring. And my youngest daughter, who's 3, would go, "Daddy," and sprint from wherever she is into my arms. I love that. So I'm not going to be on my phone and like literally physically telling her she's not that important when I've been gone all day. So I'm like full open arm, trying to catch her, try to be present with conversations they have. So the phone goes away, and if I didn't get your text message or I didn't respond to a DM, you'll get something. Just depends on when it'll be, because I'm interacting with fam at this point, and nothing else really matters. Trying to make it that way.
There is nothing better than one of those full contact baby or toddler hugs. And they throw themselves at you with everything they've got. And it's one of those things that, it heals you just like, a kiss to a boo heals them.
Yeah.
Until they're about, crotch level height. And then, that's another story.
Yeah, right.
That's a headbutt to the joke.
Little defensive move.
And with 2 identical twins, I got a double. That was a brutal phase. Ouch. But these guys, they're my 3 boys. The 13-year-old is a little dude. He's wiry and fast and just takes athletics like no problem, right? He just kind of flicks the zone on. He goes into what do you call it? Do that focus, right?
Yeah.
With no problem. And it's just super coordinated. The twins are big. They're not fat, chunky kids. They're just 96th percentile in their like size for
Yeah.
their age. So they're just like the daycare teachers call them the linebackers.
Yeah.
Child safety locks are helpful suggestions. Uh, it just slows them down.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's just nothing better, and I love being a dad.
Yeah.
I really appreciate what you put out. And is there anything you'd like to tell a new dad out there?
Yeah. Relax. It's gonna be okay.